being a quisling for his own reforms.
Melissa Lee.
That is the worst possible delirious answer in this debate. I think that member who just sat down must have really, really short memory. I haven't been in this House very long, not as long as that particular member, sir, but let me just mention one name, Mike Williams. Goodness me, talking about Mike Williams, I don't really want to go into details about Mike Williams, and it's like pot calling kettle black, as if, you know, appointing members of the public who happen to belong to a certain political party to certain boards never actually happened under Labour. Let me also remind that member a particular former minister's name who actually took a very long time to be sacked, Tito Philip Field. He actually got convicted and served time in prison. I mean, you know, it's as if the transparency and the transparency and that standard that the Labour Party is actually hoping for is a government led by David Shearer as Prime Minister. Really? Did you hear the leader of the opposition last week talking about the aspirations for New Zealand, wanting New Zealand to be like Finland? He wants a brighter future, but he actually wants to compare New Zealand to Finland. I'm a little bit confused. Finland, which actually has is in the OECD's Better Living Index. It's lower. New Zealand actually surpasses Finland in that particular index. Does that actually mean that the Labour leader, David Shearer, actually want New Zealand to have a lower standard of living? And is that the brighter future that David Shearer is actually hoping for? And is that why the Davids, the two front benches, plus Grant Robertson's got this big smile on their face, smiling like a Cheshire cat, hoping that he's going to stumble and actually make that kind of mistake again? Let us actually have a look at Finland again. I think earlier some of our national members talked about that. We have more consistent growth compared to Finland. We actually have lower unemployment than Finland. We actually have lower inflation than Finland. We actually have better food and agriculture than Finland. We actually have less male deaths compared to Finland. And we actually have less deaths, homicide rates compared to Finland. We have much higher economic freedom than Finland as well. Sir, in the last 3 years, the national-led government has actually managed New Zealand's economy well. And how do we actually know that? Because the voters in the 2011 general election voted for a national-led government once again. Sir, New Zealand overwhelmingly voted for the National Party because New Zealand voters are not stupid. If they did not do well, and if National wasn't going to be a safe hand in managing the New Zealand economy and the government and all of its portfolios, New Zealand public would not have voted for National once again. I guess, you know, some people might say that, you know, New Zealand public voted for them because they're good looking or they're articulate, whatever. But let me tell you, a lot of people in New Zealand want New Zealand to do better. The economic well-being of this country, especially under a very difficult, tough economic times that we've actually had to go through, is one of the reasons why New Zealanders actually voted in large numbers. And I think we are very lucky that New Zealanders actually think in that perspective. And, you know, the next 3 years, this government is focused on making our country more competitive so it can fulfill more of our potential as a nation, and we want to keep our promise to New Zealanders. And one of the ways that we are actually doing that is by way of improving the welfare system. And spending $8 billion and 351,000 people on the benefit isn't the way to go.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, there are times when you wait in this debate for an